everyone. I want to talk about in this video how I reclaimed my radiance by healing my relationship with makeup and tan, and just ways in which I was able to identify the habits and practices that actually were keeping me in a very much disempowered state when it came to how I viewed myself, how I spoke to myself in my inner dialogue, and the beliefs that I was carrying about myself and where they actually came from, where they actually originated from. Because the thing with our insecurities is quite often we are just carrying around beliefs that aren't even ours, like things that potentially were said to us as a child, something that went on during a toxic relationship later in life, whether we were bullied or whatever, or just the constant exposure and repetition of social media that we're all kind of just sucked into day after day after day. And all of these things actually influence us, influence our beliefs about ourselves. So it's really interesting and it's really powerful work that, you know, when we do come across these insecurities or triggers or things about our appearance that make us unhappy about ourselves, and actually, you know, giving ourselves the time and importance to actually investigate where those insecurities come from. So for me, I looked at makeup and I looked at the fact that I had always worn mascara and eyeliner I came to this realization in my early 20s that I'd always worn it for as long as I'd worn makeup, and which was probably way younger than I needed to, but yeah. So I wondered where this actually came from, and it was pretty quick to figure it out. It was pretty obvious how I got bullied throughout my childhood, and one of the things I got bullied on was being ginger. And one of the things about being ginger is that you have very light hairs, translucent nearly eyelashes, blonde eyelashes, fair eyelashes, whatever. And so that was one of the things that really stuck with me and caused me to believe that without having like black around my eyes, that I just was less attractive, I was less beautiful, I was actually ugly. So I was actually allowing, like, as if the people that had bullied me had wrote a script, and I had just taken that script and I just repeated it to myself day after day after day, even years and years, and well, like over a decade, since I'd actually even come into physical contact with these bullies. So it's like, it's mind-blowing when we actually think about like how long we are carrying on like the dirty work of somebody else inside our own mind, and allowing ourselves to speak to ourselves in a way that you just wouldn't speak to somebody you love like that whatsoever. And so I realized I had been carrying this story, these beliefs around myself, and I would not leave the house without like eye makeup on. I wouldn't take a picture without eye makeup on, none of that. So I realized, okay, I really got down to the root of it. So the colour of somebody's eyelashes, does that truly add or devalue someone's worth? Like, absolutely not. It is the colour of a hair. Like, it just does not matter when we think of the fact that we are an infinite soul living a human experience, the fact that we have these incredibly intelligent, miraculous, loving bodies that hold us as we journey through this life, the fact that we've got such incredible soul gifts that we came here to express, the fact that our face is so unique, our face is how people communicate to us, our face is how we can express our authentic truth and really put our beauty out into the world. And so really, when you think of all of that and so much more, like the colour of an eyelash, like, does it really devalue me? And of course the answer was no. So straight away I thought, okay, so if I'm just living this nonsensical belief of, you know, being able to actually carry something on that is so disempowering, that is so mean, like, and abusive, like being in an abusive relationship with yourself by literally saying that you are not good enough, you don't look good enough unless you do this, you're ugly unless you do this, like nobody, like you cannot leave the house unless you do this. Like, it's just toxic. So the fact that I was actually unknowingly operating from these beliefs made me think, okay, I need to, now that I've got this awareness, now that I can see how nonsensical it is. And that's the thing, like, as soon as we kind of zoom out on these insecurities and really break it down, they're pretty nonsense. Like, most of them are totally nonsense. So basically I stopped there and then. I was like, okay, I need to get used to myself without eye makeup. I need to start loving myself without eye makeup. And the weird thing is, like, if we look at anything outside of ourselves, like in the material world, for an example, like, the rarer something is, the more we understand it to be, like, more valuable, more expensive, you know. And yet when it's something to do with us and it's slightly different, or it's slightly you know, doesn't fit in with the current beauty standards, then we deem it as not good enough, you know, we deem it as not beautiful enough, we try and hide it, we try and cover it, which is just weird, because everything else we understand that the more rare something is, the more valuable it is. So I decided to look at the fact that the beauty standards of today, and have been for a very long time, but even more so today with, you know, false eyelashes and everything, and there's nothing to say that all of that is wrong, it just depends where the belief is behind it. So for me, the eye makeup and everything, the belief behind it was very disempowering, was very actually abusive towards myself. And so I looked at the fact that the beauty standards are dark eyelashes, they're big heavy eyelashes, they're, you know, and if you've got blonde eyelashes, it's kind of different, you know, to how we're taught beauty is. And so I decided to look at that, like, okay, so this is something that is of great value for me. It's something that is different. Therefore, I'm going to choose to see its value, because that's how we view other things. You know, the rarer they are, the more valuable they are. So this took work. It wasn't like an overnight thing. I really had to do a lot of mirror work and really look at myself and be like, this is how you look. This is how you chose to look. This is how you were born to look. And it is enough. It is perfect. It is beautiful in its own way, because who the hell decides what's beautiful anyway? Like, seriously. In fact, I'll tell you who. The industries that profit off our insecurities. That's who decides what's beautiful. So never mind that. And so I really had to get used to not wearing it, because I knew that it was an unhealthy habit that I had. It was an unhealthy relationship that I had with this makeup. And the interesting thing is, I still wear makeup. I still wear eye makeup, but it is a different look. When I wear makeup, it is a different look to me without makeup. And that's all it is. It's like trying on different hats. It doesn't mean without a hat you're totally unworthy and unlovable and, you know, less valuable, and you shouldn't leave the house without a hat on. You know what I mean? Like, this is the thing. So I still wear makeup. I still do. And I don't think I look better with or without it. In fact, I actually think I look better without it, because I've trained myself. In fact, I've just removed the layers of distortion and lies that have built up around my subconscious, and created beliefs and neural pathways for me that would make me think that I was anything less than worthy if I didn't have black around my eyes. So I now allow myself to have as many different looks as I want. You know, this is the thing, like, especially women, like, we are very cyclical creatures. You know, we go through all 4 seasons every month. We are allowed to shapeshift and have different archetypes and moods and phases and seasons, and that's okay, as long as we don't allow our worth to fluctuate with it, you know. So for me, like, some days I want to put makeup on. That doesn't mean that I'm making more effort. That doesn't mean that I'm going to look better that day or whatever. It just means that I want that particular look that day. And the original me is actually always the most valuable, because it's the original, it's the one off. There's no other look than the original. And just me, that took a lot of work. Like, if you don't know my background story, like I said, I got bullied all throughout my childhood. I suffered with eating disorders all throughout my teens. Anorexia, bulimia, all the rest of it. Like, I know what about dysmorphia. I know how deep rooted this is. And I'm here to tell you that it can be worked through, but we need to, just bring our awareness to the lies that we're carrying, like literally lies and abusive nastiness that we say to ourselves in the privacy of our own minds, that we absolutely probably wouldn't even say to anybody else. And so that's how I healed my relationship with it. It took work, but it's something that has freed me so much now, because my value doesn't fluctuate. And when your value can fluctuate based on how you look, like, your energy is just being spent in the wrong places. It really truly is. Like, when our energy is like down in this kind of insecurity, we're not giving ourselves the chance to be our full selves, be our full potential, and express ourselves in the way that we absolutely came here to. So I think that's really important. And it's not to say, this is the thing, it's not to demonize makeup. Makeup's great because it can create this different look, but we need to not devalue our original look. We need to not devalue ourselves. And really, truly, the only way we're going to know where we stand with this, it's a personal thing. Like, it really depends on your inner dialogue. Someone might always wear makeup every single day, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're disempowering themselves. I can't say that because I'm not in their mind. It's up to us to peel back the layers and get down to that inner dialogue. And where did that originally come from? It wasn't from your heart, it wasn't from your soul, it was probably from some other insecure person that just decided to put you down or make you feel like bad, because that's what insecure people do, isn't it? They try and project. So and another thing is fake tan, how I completely stopped wearing fake tan, and I don't wear it at all anymore. So I was wearing fake tan a lot in my teenage years, just to be tanned, I guess, and then I gave it up, and then I started wearing it again during my acne healing phase from my PCOS. Again, if you know my story, you'll know I had acne and all the rest of it from PCOS that I've also healed. So I started wearing fake tan as a practice of empowerment. And the reason I say that is because for me, healing my acne was very much an energetic and a mental thing. So for me, healing my acne, I had to really love myself in the mirror and love my skin before it improved. Like, that was the key. So I had to do things like meditation, like you'll see my meditation on YouTube. So like meditation and like affirmations, and really just trying to change my belief about myself in the mirror. Like, mirror work is really, really powerful. And so I was wearing the fake tan basically because it made me, when I looked in the mirror, it made me feel more glowy, more like, I don't know, why do we love having a tan? Because it makes us look healthier, more sun-kissed. Also, when you have acne, it like really kind of makes the redness look a lot less visible. And so I loved it for that. It gave me like a bit of a confidence boost, which I still labeled as empowering because it helped my mind heal. If that makes sense, it helped my beliefs around my acne heal, which it's really tough. If you've ever been through acne, you know what I mean. It's really, really tough. But then I realized when my tan was like fading or it was time to reapply it or whatever, I didn't like myself without it. So that to me was a big red flag, and I could see how much of a slippery slope it was, that I kind of didn't like myself without the tan. So I was like, okay, it needs to go now. Like, it helped me kind of feel more confident during those really, really tough acne healing days. But to be honest, I was kind of still wearing it even like when my skin was looking great. So I didn't need it. Like, I literally didn't need it anyway, but it was just a little thing to help me have a little boost while I was really working on my the energetics and like my mind around my acne. And then I realized I was way too reliant on it for my self-worth. So it was completely counterproductive to even use that as an empowerment tool, because it would most definitely became a disempowering thing. And I think that is so important, because so often we do things for our beauty, whether it's enhancements or whatever it is, and we think, and in fact it's painted to us as this will make you feel good, this will give you a boost, this will help you da 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 da. And again, this is such a nuanced thing, like it completely depends on the person doing it, the person using it. But for me, I realized if I don't like myself without it, then I need to get rid of it. Like, that is disempowering. That means that I'm able to place some kind of value on this external thing that I'm adding to myself. Like, so if my skin isn't covered in like these chemicals, then I am less valuable. Like, doesn't make any sense. So I got rid of it, and now I absolutely, personally, like, it's not the same as makeup. Like, I still can see the absolute beauty and benefit of makeup. Like, I love that it's like an art form, you know, and we should be adorned and embellished and painted in whatever ways that we want to. However, for me personally, I think tan, it's just too far for me to change my skin tone in that way. And of course, we're just taught to believe that like super pale skin looks unhealthy. Super pale skin just isn't very attractive, especially in this whole influencer age where everybody's in Bali in a bikini. Pale people, we are beautiful too. So I had to just really fall in love with my skin, that it is. And in summer I get a bit of a glow, and in winter I most definitely am pale, and that's okay. Again, it does not devalue me and everything that I am. So I just wanted to share a couple of those things, and I'm sure many of you can probably resonate with them on some level, or maybe there's something else in your life that you're like, yes, I know exactly what you mean, I do that. So, you know, if there is something in your life that you feel like is disempowering, then, you know, just don't be afraid to actually sit with yourself and untangle it, and, you know, understand where those beliefs are coming from, because you deserve to be free of those things. You deserve to go through your life feeling valuable and feeling like that can't change regardless of how you look, whether you're having a good day or a bad day. It's not what you are, it's who you are is what's valuable, you know. And our looks are always going to change. Like, literally, they're always going to change, like day after day, month after month. It's just the way it is. So it's so important that we can give ourselves this power back, you know, and really truly reclaim our radiance and what radiance is to us. And it's certainly not something that we can buy or lather on ourselves to, you know, add value, because you can't add value to our own inner beauty, our own infinite, authentic essence. So, yeah. If you want to hear more about this journey, and maybe even hopefully join in Reclaim Your Radiance. I'm going to be posting loads about this on Instagram, and I kind of just post loads about this stuff all the time anyway, so even if you're watching this not when I post it but at a later time, then yes, it's never too late to reclaim your radiance. And it's so important. If we want to see the rising of the feminine, we really need to get on board with this ourselves, and we're shaping the beauty standards of the next generation. And I'm a mom now, and I've got a daughter, and that is important to me, because she will learn so much from me. If I don't like myself, that means she might not like herself, and I'm not having it. So thank you for being with me in this journey and watching this video, and there's going to be more to come. I'm sending you so much love. Mwah.